If you have your Bibles, turn with me to Mark chapter 5, verse 25 to 34. And a certain woman which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing better, but rather grew worse. When she had heard of Jesus, she came in the press behind and touched his garment. For she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press and said, who touched my clothes? And his disciples said unto him, thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And he looked round about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and touched and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy plague. He said, go in peace and be whole of thy plague. This morning I want to use for a thought. I want you to look at your neighbor and tell him better is in your future. Don't you fool with me, because I'll shout right now. Look at somebody else. I think you looked at the wrong neighbor. And tell your neighbor, better is in your future. Oh, Lord. Come on now, don't y'all fool with me. Look at somebody else and say, better is in your future. I don't know about you, but I'm putting better on. Give me a few minutes to talk about this text before us. There are 3 miracles in this 5th chapter. In verses 1 through 24, we see Jesus displaying his power over demons. In verses 25 through 34, we see Jesus displaying his power over disease. And in verses 35 through 43, we see Jesus displaying his power over death. Our text is taken out of the portion that deals with disease. I think it's interesting to note that this miracle was sandwiched in between 2 other miracles. So it's called a parenthesis miracle. In verse 25, we see a woman with an issue, a sight that is not uncommon today, even for both genders. And I believe if you were to ask all of the men and women in this church this morning if they had an issue with something or someone, most of them would say yes. Some of their issues are with money. Some issues are with relationships. Some issues are with themselves. So the first thing that we see in this text is an unhappy woman, a woman in pain, a woman stressed, a woman depressed and frustrated. Note, we don't know her name, but we know her situation. We don't know all the intricate details about her resources, but we do know her need. She has a menstrual problem, and that problem hasn't stopped in 12 years. Anything she touched became unclean. So it would be safe to conclude she stayed away from people, and they stayed away from her. How long has your issue been messing with you? Come on, take your neighbor by the hand and don't shoot me down because I'm preaching good. Tell you, how long has your issue been messing with you? How long have you been asking a question that's not being answered? How long have you been seeking a solution that you can't find? How long have you been knocking on a door that no one opens? Is it an issue of molestation? An issue of an unfaithful spouse? An issue of loneliness? An issue of poverty? An issue of rejection? An issue of deception? Is it an issue of sickness? This issue of blood affected this woman in 4 areas: physically, socially, spiritually, and economically. She wasn't able to walk to the marketplace. She wasn't able to go into Publix and shop like a normal person. She was excluded from family reunions and discussions. She was banned from male presence, so she couldn't get married. She wasn't allowed in the temple to worship God. And now she isn't even allowed in the bank. Look at your neighbor, take him by the hand and say, what is your issue excluding you from? Verse 26 says that she has suffered many things of many physicians. The Talmud, which is the central text of rabbinic Judaism and the primary source of Jewish religious law and theology, lists 11 remedies for a woman that was hemorrhaging. One such remedy was to carry an ear of corn taken from the dung of a white donkey. Can you imagine the kind of indignities and embarrassment the doctors put her through? Note, the people who she had placed her confidence in let her down. All they did was take advantage of her. And now, according to the text, she's spent. She has nothing left. No money. No get up and go. No joy. No smile, no happiness. And a situation wasn't getting better, but it was getting worse. At the time of the text, she's penniless and destitute with no one to look after her. After years of pain, worthless doctors, useless remedies, and shattered dreams, she has reached a place where things are getting worse. Maybe you don't have the same kind of illness as this woman, but like her, your situation is getting worse. You have been carrying a heavy burden, and now you're discouraged and defeated. You've read books, sowed seeds, have gotten advice from the best sources, but you are no better, but you got worse. In this 26th verse, in addition to this woman's pain, she had unmet expectations. The word expectation means to gaze into a distance with your head raised like a watchman standing on a tower. It is focusing one's attention at an object with concentration, intensity, and eagerness. Expectation is a strong desire, belief, and anticipation that something will happen regardless of the surrounding situations. It is hope and confidence in something. Expectation is looking forward to a better thing to come. When a woman is pregnant, people say she is expectant, meaning she's looking for her baby to be born. Everyone has expectations. We all have hopes and dreams. God has expectations of man. Man has expectations of God and men. Have you ever placed your hope in someone and they let you down? Note, disappointment results from unmet expectations. And unmet expectations break hearts, fuels anger, and breeds bitterness. I'm sure she had expected the doctors to fix her issue, especially with money. She was paying them. But the text says that she didn't get better, but she got worse. Take your neighbor by the hand and ask him this question: what do you do when things in your life are getting worse? What do you do? Well, let me give you 3 points. The first point is don't become bitter. Look at your neighbor and say, don't become bitter. Don't become bitter. Don't become bitter. Don't become bitter over your issue. Because if you are bitter, you can't think right. You'll make hasty decisions. And if you're bitter, you can't become better. Bitterness is a trait that can develop more easily than you might think. When people feel hurt or betrayed, or they have a bad experience, they may start to see the world more negatively, even if they don't realize it. Holding grudges, being jealous, and focusing on negativity can only bring you down. The Bible doesn't give this woman a name. So I don't want to grab a name out the sky and it be somebody's name. So let's just call her. I started to say Dee Dee, but somebody's name might be Dee Dee. All right, let's call her Delilah. Delilah didn't allow her circumstances to make her bitter. Here are 5 habits of bitter people and how you can avoid them. 1, feeling jaded. Becoming jaded or cynical from something you've experienced can only lead you down an empty, lonely path. We all learn from our experiences, and it's difficult not to take certain things to heart. But when a bitter person feels jaded, like they have been given the short end of a stick or have been dealt a bad hand, they often generalize their anger toward people who haven't hurt them. They assume because of one bad experience that everyone is out to get them. So what do? Remember that how you view the world and treat others is only a reflection of yourself. So learn from your experience, but don't become bitter because of them. Secondly, bitter people hold grudges. You got to learn how to forgive and forget. I know it's often easier said than done, but holding a grudge against someone will only bring you down. Here you are holding this grudge, and they're at the restaurant eating steak and potatoes. The more you focus your anger and resentment towards someone else, the more those feelings become a part of you, even if you think you pushed it into the back of your mind, it's still there affecting you. So what do you do, Bishop? When someone hurts you or betrays you, don't hold on to your anger. In fact, the only way you can stay married, you got to learn how to forgive. You got to forgive frequently. The Bible said, don't let the sun go down on your wrath. You got to forgive frankly. You got to be honest about your forgiveness. And then you got to forgive finally. Because if you don't forgive finally, you imprison yourself. The more you focus your anger on resentment towards someone else, the more those feelings will become a part of you. So when someone hurts you, don't hold on to it. Address it immediately. Sugar, now you know you offended me. I don't like you spitting in my face. So the next time praise and worship is going on, I think you need to stay in that other aisle. Leave those feelings with him or her instead of carrying them around and becoming bitter. Bitter people also are jealous people. When someone gets the promotion you want at work, or a colleague gets a brand new car, or you run into a classmate who used to hang out with, but now they're getting married and you're not. That's when jealousy starts to creep up. And as much as we try to fight it, most of us feel at least a twinge of the green-eyed monster from time to time. But being jealous of people around you can bring about bitterness, which will undoubtedly show through. What do you do, Bishop? Well, if you want something that someone else has, use it as motivation to accomplish your own goals. Your own goals. Push yourself harder to get whatever it is that you want, and think of how great you'll feel once you have succeeded. Number 4, bitter people are always seeking attention. People who are bitter are more likely to pout when they don't get their way. Look at your neighbor and see if they got rocks in their jaws. They start pouting, they want to know, they want everybody to know about it. Bitter people seek attention because they want reassurance that their situation is unfair. A man the other day got handed something from the Supreme Court that he didn't like, and he went to pouting, whining, or generating a whole bunch of drama. I'm going to die. It's terrible what they did to me. To get the sympathy of others will most likely backfire. What do you do, Bishop? Sympathy will only get you so far. Look at your neighbor and say, if you're in a rut, whining about it won't help. If you feel the need for attention, work hard silently and let your success be something to talk about. Number 5, bitter people are always negative. Bitterness causes a person to see the world in a negative light. Every situation becomes a problem or an annoyance. Let's be honest, who wants to live that way? There was a lady in our church growing up. Every time we went next to her, we had to get out a handkerchief. She was so negative. Who wants to live that way? Focusing on the negative is extremely limiting you. You could be having a great time at the fellowship, but instead you want to leave because it's raining, or you don't like the song that's playing. Being bitter opens the door for negativity. What do you do, Bishop? Well, it might be hard to let go of a bad situation or the pain from being hurt. But imagine how much more full your life could be if you shut out all the negativity surrounding you. Open yourself up to changes and new experiences. Don't become bitter. The second thing, if you want better days, the second thing I like about this woman though in the text, she realized there are some situations that only Jesus can fix. Look at your neighbor and tell him that. There's some things that only Jesus can fix. No, Bobo can't fix it now. Sister Cushion Bottom, Brother Benbow, they can't fix it. So don't bank on people to fix your issue. Songwriter said, when you tried everything and everything failed, try Jesus. The text says she heard about Jesus in order for her to hear, someone of necessity must be talking. She perhaps heard about his story with blind Bartimaeus or the man at the pool of Bethesda. Because people are fallible and will let you down, you cannot bank on people. And not only that, people break promises, and they're limited. And if you're not careful, you will compare yourself to them and give justifiable reasons why your circumstances cannot change. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2 says, looking unto Jesus, who is who? The author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is sat down on the right hand of the Father. Hebrews 7:25 says, wherefore he is able to save them to the utmost that come unto God by him, seeing he ever liveth to make intercession for them. Ephesians 3:20 says, now unto him that is able to do exceeding and abundantly above all that we can ask or think, according to the power that's worketh in us. No, verse 27, it tells us that the people who were talking to her gave her the impression that Jesus was the answer to her problems. Where are the people who you are listening to sending you? Are they sending you to Miss Cleo? Miss Cleo. Are they still sending you to Jerry Springer and he's off the air? How about Judge Joe Brown? How about the street pusher? Text says once he thought about Jesus, she started talking to herself. Look at your neighbor and say, if you want to get better, start talking to yourself. There comes a time when you need to talk to yourself and your circumstances. Death and life in the power of the tongue. Mark 11:23, whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and shall not doubt in his heart, but believe those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Proverbs 25:11, a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pitchers of silver. Note also, her speech was a byproduct of what she heard. So if you're hearing right, you'll speak right. Take your neighbor by the hand and shake it down to the floor and say, if you're hearing right, you'll speak right. If you're speaking negatively, you need to check out your company. This is my last point, and I'm going to sit down because I'm an old man now. I'm tired. Superintendent say when you turn locky, you can say, Superintendent Locky said when you turn 40, you can say whatever you want. You know at 75, you can say what, like the old folks say, you know at 75, you can say whatsoever you want. Look at somebody and say whatsoever. I'm going to try to close this. What was the first point? Don't become bitter. What was the second point? Don't bank on people to fix your problem. And the last point, look at your neighbor and say it in a Negro, in a Negroic way. stop believing. Do you hear me? Look at somebody else and say, neighbor, don't stop believing. Take somebody else by the hand and say, neighbor, oh, don't stop believing. You have to take the initiative to get into his presence because he's coming to you. Note the next thing that she did. She touched the hem. This is what you call faith that presses through. She touched the hem. So it connotes the end. And what did Jesus say? Go in peace. She only touched the hem of his garment as to touch his side she stole. Amidst the crowd that gathered around him, and straightway she was made whole. Oh, touch the hem of his garment, and thou too shalt be free. His saving power this very hour, she gave new life to thee. Jesus was on his way to Jairus' house, but he was not too busy to stop and see about her. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, unwavering faith in the faith of desperation, highlighting how a woman with a seemingly incurable condition, through her bold act of faith, by touching Jesus, she was made whole. Shout glory. Everybody stand on your feet and say, this was 12 years of weakness, 12 years of isolation, 12 years of being labeled unclean, 12 years of watching life pass her by. This was not a 12-day problem. This was not a 12-week season. This was a 12-year struggle. Look at your neighbor and say, some people don't understand your praise because they don't know your years. They see your shout, but didn't see your struggle. Shout glory. Suffered many things. Spent all she had. Was not better, but got worse. Medical disappointments, financial depletion, emotional exhaustion. But here's the blessing. She didn't give up. High five about 3 people and say, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going. Some people will quit when the money runs out. Some people will quit when doctors say there's nothing more we can do. Some people are quit when their friends turn up against them. But this woman kept looking for answers. I'm looking for a miracle. I heard Bishop Lockett say, before he died, the greatest miracle in your life is right around the corner. He said, you're not going to need faith for this one. All you need is a look. Come on, some of y'all start walking around looking. I'm I'm looking for a miracle. It's on its way. It's on its way. It's on its way. Keep on walking. Keep on walking. Keep on moving your feet. You're going to bump into something great. You're going to bump into something new. You're going to bump into something fresh.